guys, how's it going? And welcome to my first video for quite a while. Been out of action for a bit with a couple of injuries. I think I posted at the start of the year the injury to my hand, where my hand blew up like a balloon from an infection. That's recovered fine. My knuckle is about twice the size of my left knuckle there, but it doesn't make any difference to my play. And outside of that, my golfer's elbow is still lingering, and I've had ultrasounds, and it is just tendonitis, as well as I had tendonitis in my wrist, which has subsided completely, but the elbow just flares up whenever I'm serving at volume. So I'm managing that with some drugs, some steroid pills, but that's not a fix, you know, so it's dissipated the inflammation straight away. But I need to rehab it and take care of it. I need to wear the compression sleeve every time I play. I need to ice it every time I finish, and manage how I play as well, play a bit smarter, which is hard for me because I play pretty stupid tennis. So the tennis has been a little more limited. I've had 2 tournaments so far this year, and I've decided I'm not going to play doubles in the ITFs, just because there's too much volume going on. I played an open tournament a few months ago, and there was 2 matches on the Saturday, and I had 3 matches on the Sunday. That third match being the doubles was just too much, and that's where my wrist really started to cane. So doing all the right sort of exercises for it when I'm at the gym, which is sort of 3 days a week at the moment. You know, you're doing a lot of these forearm exercises and whatever else. It doesn't go away with that. You really got to be doing it all the time, and I don't know if it's going to just be something that's going to be there all the time from now on, and just deal with it, so whatever. The other thing that we looked at, a mate of mine and I, who also has bad golfer's elbow, is pickleball. And I know. We were heavily against it for a while, and we decided to try it, and we actually quite enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Got the radical knight, the head radical knight, weighted up. So that's been a little bit of fun. We've played 3 times. That's not going to be happening full time, so we'll just get rid of that before someone shoots me through the screen. But yeah, it has been a little bit of fun, and the arm doesn't hurt when we play that, but we are definitely sticking to tennis. So I'm going to string my Extreme Pro here as I talk, which is going to be difficult because I struggle to multitask, but ultimately I've gone to Torner Big Hitter Silver through the recommendation of a mate, one of my first subscribers, and we talk quite regularly, Matt, and also TK Tennis had a good review on this string, so I thought I'd try it. It's super cheap, and it feels really good. So I've really enjoyed it, and I'm going to be sticking to that for a while because it's quite soft on the arm. So as I string this racket, I watched a lot of videos on how to use a crank to be most efficient with the tension on it. AM stringing and I think Richard Parnell. So the way I string it is basically how they have shown on a few of their videos, and I've found with the crank machine it to be quite accurate. And I think the guy on AM, he has tested his crank versus his expensive electronic machine and found only a £1 difference between them. After seeing that, I decided I won't be upgrading to the electronic wise head here, which you can. I think it's $1,200 Australian to upgrade. I'm not going to bother because I'm really happy with this and it's robust, so we'll stick to that, and it's good enough for me. Torner Big Hitter Silver. So I can get this on Amazon for $150 Australian delivered. That's super cheap, and that's 220 meters. So that should be about 17 rackets. It's hard to go past that, especially with how good it feels. It is crisp, soft. The longevity of it is meant to be sensational. Holds the tension really well. I haven't tested that yet myself, but from all the reviews, TK is pretty extensive with his reviews, so that's good enough for me. I was using Hawk Touch for a while there and really enjoying it because I string myself. The tension maintenance that it lacks doesn't really bother me. It really drops off after even 3 hours, but the feel and the launch punch on it was quite addictive. Really felt quite powerful and easy. With being able to grab the ball nicely for a round string especially, it just feels like there's a rip there. But I was starting to feel it though a bit dead and hurting the arm. It was soft and then dead, you know, kind of like an alu power sort of thing. So after talking to Matt and seeing TK's reviews, I thought let's try this, you know, for the price, give it a go, and I'll be sticking to it. It is really soft on the arm. I've also bought a couple other rackets, probably to everyone's surprise. I have tried, so the Radical MP I've hit with 3 times now, and I really do like this racket. It's very similar to the Extreme Pro in a lot of aspects, but it's lower powered. I do feel a bit more control on the groundies. Super solid at the net. The serve right now, I'm not totally convinced with. I'm really feeling a huge difference in power between these two on the serve predominantly, and that's something that I really enjoy with my Extremes. Just that ease of power that comes. I don't have to overhit, but I still do, and they all go out. But this will be revisited many times because it does really feel nice and controlled. My Gravity Tour 98, and I haven't gamed this yet. I've just strung all my rackets with the same string to try to directly compare the frames with the same string, limit the variables there. Hitting with this, it is great. I just don't think it's for me in matches. It's a little bit more demanding. But I will try it because you just don't know until you play, and you know, maybe this will keep more balls in for me. You have to commit with this racket. You have to commit to your technique. I can get lazy and balls will fly. You know, if you're not committed with your shots with this racket, it will fly. So I'm a little unsure. It looks sensational. It really does. And it sounds great. That whistle with the half cap grommets is beautiful, and the feel is great. My Speed Legends, Speed Pro Legend, I stopped using this just because I found it a little bit heavier and demanding on my higher backhands. It's probably it. The Extremes, it's just, they're so whippy and fun to play with. You can really hit any shot, spin, you know, flat, anything out of court. It's just really so much easier. So I ended up going back to these after really enjoying the plushness and comfort of this racket and the power. These things are absolute beasts. So again, restringing with Big Hitter, I hit with this 2 days ago, and I am conflicted. I am very conflicted with all my rackets, as I'll probably be until the day I die, because I like trying all the different things, and every racket has its positives and negatives, and it's hard finding that perfect setup. But the Extremes I've found with weight in the throat. So I tinkered a bit more with all the weights, and I've found that I love just that. I think Alcaraz has got 5 grams of weight in his Pure Aero 98s, and I do 6 grams. 6 grams in the throat, because it's two pieces of a clean 3 gram piece of lead that I get. It just makes this racket so solid, and just a different beast again. Still whippy as, it doesn't change the swing weight. It just feels unbelievable. So, but these speeds really are a nice racket. So the Pure Aero 98, I haven't actually gamed this either, and I haven't given enough of a chance. I have just restrung it, and I am playing with it a little more now because I want to give it a go. Looks phenomenal, feels good, just not as good as these. So, and that was my thing at the start, was they're a similar racket, but this feels better. But I want to give it a go. Everyone says this is like the best racket ever made, or one of, and I know you can't take all of our words for it because it's subjective and all the rest of it, but you know, there must be a reason why so many guys use this racket, and I can see why. It is easy to use, even for a 1-y with this throat. It feels absolutely fine. just doesn't feel as nice as this. So I better start stringing it up. I've gone 48 for the mains, and I'll be going 46 in the crosses. My other one I had at 46 all over, and found it just a fraction loose. I've been trying to go looser because of my arm, but I just want a little more. I just want a little tighter. So one of the good tips that I got from AM Stringing about using the cranks was making sure that your pull location is always the same. So basically, always starting your pull from the same spot. When I first got this machine, I was, sometimes pulling from here or there or whatever. I wasn't thinking about that at all. I didn't know. And it said that that makes the job far more consistent, the same spot for the pull. So I do that now, starting with the 2 strings in the one. Again, it's 48 pounds. And then once you clamp your first string, grabbing your starting clamp and slotting it behind, okay, to prevent any slip from your next pull, which is here. Again, moving this to the same location and then going, and just go on like that. That was probably the biggest tip that I got, and yeah, I've been doing that ever since, and found, the tension has been pretty nice and even. Cannot complain. So I'll stick to doing that. Outside of that, not having breaks. So with the string jobs, just doing it and not sitting there waiting around after, like for example, doing your mains and waiting half hour or so or whatever. Which the reason why I bought a machine is quite simply because I had a racket strung at a club, at a good club, and the day I was meant to pick my racket up, I had a phone call from the young girl that did it, and she said, sorry sir, I'm not comfortable doing the crosses, so I'm gonna have to leave it, and the guy that strings here normally will be here tomorrow to finish the job and do the crosses. That was $70 Australian for Selinko Confidential. For someone that doesn't know actually how to string a racket. I didn't say anything to her. I just said, okay, that's fine, no worries, and decided that was the last time I'd get my racket strung there, and I'd buy my own. So that's what I've done, and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. And yeah, YouTube is free and full of great advice and tips and professionals doing all these jobs. So you can see how to do it, and it's been the best thing because it's allowed me to buy 500,000 rackets and strings and spend all my days mucking around stringing. So I've had some Tennis Daddy shirts made here, and the plan is to have fathers wearing these shirts at their junior kids tennis tournaments and whatnot, and a bit of an idea from a match that's coming up on Saturday between myself and an old schoolmate of mine's son, who just won the under 12 national clays here. He's an 8.7 UTR, so technically on paper he should beat me. I'm a 7.73 at the moment. The UTR is a funny thing. Everyone thinks they're better than they are. I can sit there and tell you that I hit like a 9 or a 10 sometimes, which I can, but I play like a 7.73 because I miss some dumb shit and play like a moron often, and that's just the way it is. So I'm looking forward to playing this kid. But yeah, so the shirts out there for the tennis daddies out there, I will be selling these, and part of the proceeds will be going to Grab Your Life by the Balls charity, which is on the sunny coast here in Queensland. I'm on the Gold Coast. It's for kids and men's health and well-being. So yeah, I quite like that name of that charity, and I thought, why not put some of the proceeds of every sale towards them. Haven't figured out how I'm going to do this all just yet, with shipping and whatnot. I just thought something simple, just a nice black shirt with the TD. They can come in tanks if that's the preference as well. Summertime here, I will be most likely wearing a tank anyway. We are just starting to get a little cooler here. Really, as of last night, it was a bit cold last night playing. So yeah, so this match play, I am going to start moving a little more towards, because I don't want to keep on doing 1,000 strings and rackets. It's doing my head, especially now because the tournament season has started. So I don't really want to be mucking around too much with strings and setups and stuff. And I haven't got access to all the strings and rackets. It's just hard to give that much time to it to really test the strings or a racket. You know, like some of these other guys, you know, they do it and do it really well, and I'll continue watching their videos like I do all day, every day. Going to do some doubles as well, which will be fun. I've got a few lined up. 3 of the guys that I hit with on a Monday night, they played futures some 15 years ago or something like that. So I'll be playing them, they'll be playing each other, we'll be playing doubles, and I'll be trying to get onto some other guys of a far higher level, and see how that goes, because I've had quite a few people asking for match play on this channel, and I think it's just about time to do it. I'm actually finding this quite difficult to talk and do this at the same time. My head works well sometimes doing a million things, but doing this, I really struggle. I'm trying to think about what I want to say and not let go of the tension. It's going to be interesting because this kid is 12. He might be 13 this year. He's not a small kid. He's not huge, but he's not as tall as me, I don't think. But you know, I'll overpower him and all that, but he's going to be far more consistent, I know, and most likely fitter. So it's an interesting matchup to go with for the ego, really, because I was used to being the 12-year-old kid that would beat adults, and now it's going to be a reverse, which I'm totally fine with. So I go starting clamp here. I just measure out to the length. I do use, I was recommended to protect that little bit of string that's going to go into your knot. And this is the end of an Oki strap that works perfect for this purpose. Slot it on, clamp her on, and boom, and go for your first string. So yeah, so Saturday 4 o'clock, I'm going to do it undercover. The Royal Pines courts are a really nice setting, undercover, and it's my best surface and my best setting. So I've got no excuses to not play well, although I will find some, I'm sure. So yeah, I will be doing other matches on different surfaces. For guys around the world, anyone from America here, I know Matt, who I talked to, probably hasn't seen synthetic grass, which we have a lot of here. All of my seniors tournaments here are on synthetic grass. It's not a terrible surface. It's taken me some time getting used to. If there's too much sand, it can be really slippery, and the bounce can be quite weird. You think a slice should skid through. Sometimes it just stops and props. So footwork wise, I'm still not great on the synthetic. I find myself all over the place a bit because I'm just still not sure what the ball's going to do sometimes. So yeah, you can find yourself a bit tentative there because you're a little unsure. The hard court is just always pretty true. Going to play a match on clay. We have real clay here as well at one of our nice clubs. And one of the fellas that played futures back in the day, Rico, we're going to play a match on clay. That'll be an interesting match against Rico. He's a very good player and hits the ball harder than I've seen anybody hit the ball. And I thought I hit the ball hard. So on his favourite surface too, he loves clay. He played overseas in his younger days when he was playing futures, and he fell in love with the clay over there. So that could be a quick, interesting match. So I'm not sure if I'll play 1 set or 2 sets against these guys. I think we might see how we go. For the video's sake, I reckon 1 set's good, unless it's really quick. If I get belted, I think I might ask for another set. If I get belted by the 12-year-old, his name's Zaid Juzab. If I get belted by Zaid, I might just cry and give up. But we'll see what happens with that. So I'll be presenting whoever I play. I'll give them a shirt. So like I said, my old schoolmate Mo, I'd love him to be wearing these shirts at his son's matches. You know, as he's a true tennis daddy, and I think that's pretty cool. Watching yourself play as well is an interesting thing. I've never actually watched myself play a match. I've watched myself hit, which is vastly different. I'm fully aware of how lazy I am and how bad my footwork can be. So this could be an eye-opener, actually seeing it. But yeah, it's really putting yourself out there to get critiqued, which is pretty cool. But yeah, more so, I'm excited to see for myself how this young fella plays. You know, when he's playing someone older, he hasn't played tournaments in the open ages, and it's different. It's different playing adults as it is different playing kids. I did play a couple of 14, 15-year-olds in this first tournament earlier this year, and my teammate and I, we won the doubles quite comfortably, and their UTR was slightly higher than mine. They were in the 8s, and they got upset. They were not happy. There was a different mindset I noticed from playing kids to playing adults. Very, very fragile in the mind, which takes me back to what I was like when I was younger. Whereas you don't get that in the seniors. You know, the older blokes, they're just all solid mentally. They're just solid as. So it'll be fun to see if I'm winning. See how Zaid reacts. If I'm losing, it'll be funny to see how I react. So, let us know what sort of matchups would you guys be interested in seeing. I know, you know, Winston does this, and he's got to the point where he's got influencers playing each other and some high level guys, and it's unreal. You know, watching his videos really, you know, shows people love watching matches, and at all levels as well. So when I've had quite a few people, you know, asking myself to, you know, show some match play with guys that I play, I thought, you know, this is the way forward, I think, and it's realistically it's easier than doing all the string reviews and all that. You know, just rock up and play and get belted by some high level guys. It's possibly what's going to happen to me here with a couple of the guys that I'm playing. But yeah, let us know if there's any particular matchups. Like I said, I really want to get some doubles on there. I really enjoy playing doubles, probably more so than singles, to be honest. I find there's less thought process. It's just stand and hit, you know, especially returning serves. So anyone who's got any tips out there for playing a high-level 12-year-old, let me know in the comments, because I'm going to need all the help I can get and really try to move my feet well and make shots. I make a lot of unforced errors normally. It's my biggest downfall, and it's why my UTR is struggling to go in the right direction. So yeah, this kid ain't gonna miss too many shots. I can feel it in my bones that he's a superbly consistent player. I've got to either blow him off the court if I'm playing really well, or try to play a bit smart. Now, I definitely string different to this when I'm only stringing and not talking. This was superbly difficult, trying to focus on what I was doing. haven't got the best attention span here. Yeah. So 48 in the mains, 46 in the crosses. I'm hitting tonight and see how that goes, because I'm hoping to use that on Saturday against Zaid. Like I said, match play is to come. Got the Tennis Daddy shirts coming. You know, like I said, that if the fathers out there can wear these watching their kids, that'd be cool. That's my intention when my kids start playing tourneys in another 5 years maybe. So we'll look forward to the next video of some first match play on this channel and bring some more of that to you, and hopefully it's some good content and some heavy critiquing to come for TD.